Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is a Football Friday right here on ysnlive.com. DJ Yoakley, Sam Torres, Hot Take, Eric Hughes, and, the assistant general manager and the guy that keeps the train on the tracks right here on the network, Chris Sigler, is with us today as well. And, we got one more coming in at least. Ladies and gentlemen, coming in from parts unknown, weighing in at unknown and a little bit taller than I am, the wrestling king of the world, Christopher Colucci, joins us. Gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is the YSN Super Show on the Power Hour, brought to you by Toyota of Warren. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to break down, a lot of picks to be had, 24 of them. As we have 24 games. We're going to pick a couple extra because we got some time. But before we get to that, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to do this. We've got to talk about last night. A unbelievable night of football. We had 6 games, right, on the network last night, all the way from Ashtabula County on down through. I don't know, Sigler, you're better at the county things than I am. Where did we end up last night? Was it just?
I think we were in Trumbull County, I believe.
Yeah. Vienna's Trumbull? I think so. I think you're right. All right. So we got
it is.
Western Reserve's Mahoning, right? Mahoning for Ursuline. We got Howland is Trumbull.
Yeah.
Liberty's is Liberty's on the line? Is that Mahoning or Trumbull? I'm gonna guess Mahoning.
That's Trumbull for sure. I know because I go there. Yeah.
Really? It's on the line. I'll take your word for it. Grand Valley, obviously Ashtabula, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Matthews. So yeah, I guess we weren't in as many counties as I thought. But regardless, we had some good football all across the region. See what I did there? It started with Crestview and Western Reserve. You and Billy Whiteshoes had the call on that incredible win for Western Reserve, but Crestview looks like they're improving as well this year. Talk to me about what you saw last night.
For sure. Western Reserve looked really good. They got a new quarterback, new play caller this year. Coach Armini's taken over the play calling. Chris Pater's taken over the reign at quarterback. He had a stellar performance, 3 touchdowns, 2 on the run, 1 through the air. They looked really well in Crestview. I know the score, Western Reserve scored on the last play. I mean, it was like 5 seconds left. They were just trying to run the clock out, but they scored on the last play. The score doesn't really show how good Crestview is this year. They got 3 kids that can run the ball like machines this year. Max Hawkins, Nolan, their quarterback, and Proctor, their other running back. They got some dogs back there, so Crestview's going to be an eye to watch out for this year.
All right, I love hearing that. If Western Reserve, I mean, it starts and ends with Pater, right? So talk to me about what any other weapons they had. Was Darney back in last night? Did I see that?
Yeah, Darney was healthy. He came back from a knee injury from last season. Darney's healthy. He's ready to roll this year. They got Dom Riccardi. I thought it was cool on the roster. They don't have him at any position on offense. It's just athlete. So I thought that was he's a jack of all trades playing anywhere. They got Riccardi, Alec Abrams outside, Nate Alexander, stud on defense. It's not going to show up. He had an interception and a lot of tackles, but little things that he did that you really don't see from the stands that executed very well. So Nate Alexander on defense did very well. Nate Hemberger, I mean, he had 180 some tackles last year. So he's pretty legit. It was like top 5 in the state. So they got some weapons this year. They're going to be a little dangerous in Division 5.
I think there's a bunch of teams that are going to be dangerous this year. I think, guys, and you might completely disagree with this, this might be one of the most even years across the region that we've seen in a long time. Usually it's you got some teams up here and the rest of them are down here. I think we're going to see a lot of teams vying in that middle. The power ranking is going to be really interesting this year. Sam, you were able to take in one of the games of the night last night in Ashtabula County. Take me through that game.
Yeah, so it was really an interesting. So Grand Valley last year really struggled. They ended the year 2-8, bringing back pretty much the same team as last year, but much more experienced. They did an offensive style change last year where, 2 years ago they threw for right around 1,200 yards, and they switched over to that wing T style offense last year. So they were kind of getting the growing pains and learning, so they struggled. Last night they came back out in that wing T, and in the first half, it's the best football I've seen Grand Valley play in probably the last 3 years. They go into halftime with a 20-8 win, or a 20-8 lead, over Conneaut. First series of the game, they march right down the field, get into the end zone. These kids were playing with their hair on fire, and it was a special night in Orwell because it's a brand new turf out there in Orwell. So they go from that grass field last year to this turf. It's beautiful out there, and congratulations to the folks in Orwell on getting this brand new beautiful football field. But it was truly one of those games. It was like the tale of two halves, and Conneaut goes into halftime, and in true Conneaut fashion, all you have to do is give the Spartans just a sliver of momentum, and that's what they did. They just started chopping away at that lead all the way till the fourth quarter. You've got about 2 minutes left. The score there, 23-15. It was 20-15, but Grand Valley gets stopped on a fourth down. They punt the ball. Conneaut muffs the punt. And then Grand Valley goes in, scores, takes the lead 23-15, or 23-20, and then on the following the following series, Conneaut gets the ball back, just about 2 minutes left, goes down the field. It's 3rd and goal on the 3-yard line. They throw a pass into the end zone. 2 Conneaut players run into each other. They drop the ball. 1.7 seconds left in the game. 4th and goal. And Colby Stittner, first-year quarterback over at Conneaut, goes back into a pass, decides he's going to take it and run, finds a very small lane, breaks a tackle, and breaks the hearts of the Mustangs. It was one of the craziest games I've seen, and if that's what we're starting the year with, I can't wait for the rest of the year.
It was an awesome game. We had a couple of those last night. Chris, you and I were on our way home, kind of taking in that Ursuline game against Walsh Jesuit. When we were watching that, you were seeing that Ursuline does not even possess in their locker room on the sideline. They don't have one of those white flags. They're not going to be waving it anytime soon. Ursuline's a team to reckon with, but a tough loss nonetheless last night to Walsh Jesuit.
Yeah, it was crazy on the way home. They were down 9 late in that ball game, under a minute to go. And it takes them 2 plays to go and score and provide themselves an opportunity for the onside kick to put themselves in position to maybe come back and steal a win at home. When I say steal a win, they were losing the entire game against a very good Walsh Jesuit team. So it's an Ursuline team that's experienced. They got a new quarterback this year. They're replacing some skill players, but that doesn't matter to them. They don't rebuild. They just reload. And that's what they do there, and that's what they're going to do all season long.
And staying with that tone, I mean, you made a stat last night, which was the stat of the night, I think, for the 9th straight season. Jackson Milton has a new signal caller behind center, and that was one of the topics of discussion last night. Was it wasn't pretty at times, but running probably 90% of the game out of the shotgun. Jackson Milton gets it done with Keegan White scoring all 4 touchdowns for them as the Blue Jays fly past the Matthews Mustangs. I mean, Keegan White has been a name for a while. He's a senior now. He's been a name that consistently comes up, but now he gets the chance, at least for last night, to be the primary signal caller. And what were your thoughts on him?
Keegan White, he's a dude. He's 5'11", 200 pounds. And we talked about it last night in the game. When he's running downhill, he's just hard to bring down. And they were given a great opportunity on offense by their defense all night long to give them short fields, which that offense could take advantage of. And primarily on the ground with White, that was no problem for them. And then they relied on that stingy defense. We didn't even have the ability to call Jack McDevitt's name a lot because really they didn't have to get him involved in the offense to come back from behind at all against Matthews. They were trailing 6-0, took the ball themselves the next possession, went right down the field and tied it, and that's as close as it got. Credit to Matthews. They came out swinging right away in a pretty new stadium they have now. I believe it opened last year. But that's an offense that I think once they start gelling, they're going to give some teams problems. But Jackson Milton, we said it last night, 12 points a game last year to start the season in the first half of the season when they were on. And they showed it again last night. That defense is ready to play.
I'm really interested in this next game, guys, because we got, obviously and Radar's in on it too. Radar had this comment up before we even went on the air, folks, about JFK. JFK, there's a lot of people that were down on. I mean, you looked at the previews and things that the media were doing. There's not a whole lot of belief in Warren JFK right now, but they come out nonetheless, and they just absolutely, I don't want to say dominate, but you look at the score, they were dominating much of that game before Liberty started to come back a little bit. JFK ends up with a big week 1 win against Liberty, a team that everybody seemingly jumped on their bandwagon. I guess my question to you, Hot Take, would be how much kind of stock should we put into week 1 for teams that either win or lose? And should we be too high or too low on teams like JFK or Liberty?
I mean, for week 1, I don't think you should really put too much stock into it because you have to consider, like, for a lot of these teams, like, there's a lot of turnover. You have a lot of guys from the previous year who graduated. They have a lot of new stars in there. Finally, for some of them, their first time getting varsity reps, like Louisville, for example, who we'll talk about later, obviously. Louisville has a lot of has had a lot of turnover over the offseason, and they have to play against a decent Columbiana team tonight. So I really wouldn't put too much stock into it, personally.
That's fair enough. I mean, Chris, you've seen a lot of these games. You've been a part of a lot of these games. You were keeping me between the lines last night from your officiating standpoints. If you're looking at the schedule and you're a head coach, how much stock are you putting into a 1-0 start versus 0-1 start?
To be honest with you, if win or lose, I just want to see improvement between my guys from week 1 to week 2. I want them just to get better and keep going.
I messed up. I'm sorry. I said Chris. Fur.
Oh,
You as Fur. And
my bad.
Sigler. You threw me off like that. I was waiting for Sigler to respond, and I got your voice, and I was like, "Oh boy, what did I do?" My apologies. Nonetheless, Mr. Sigler, your thoughts, Fur?
Well, I think you have to take it the long game there when you're a head coach. You're always looking to improve. Last night we saw a pretty clean game penalty wise. Normally that first week you see a lot of motion penalties, things that you expect as a coach, and you want to clean up, and you're looking for small victories. Of course, you want to win the game. If you win the game, great. But if you lose the game, you want to look just to see what you can improve on from week 1 to week 2 and keep your kids positive. And it's a long season. A lot of teams make the playoffs now, as we know. So it's not just you lose the first game and the season's over anymore.
Well, you mentioned the clean game. We saw one call that you and I were kind of scratching our heads about. Somebody explained to me targeting in high school football, because it's not like you can review it. So why are we calling it unless it's absolutely blatant? Sam, well, I mean, I guess we'll go to you.
I mean, it's a complete
college football
judgment call at the, you know what I mean? And that's one of those things. I mean, what's the difference between a targeting and maybe just a personal foul type of thing? I think anytime you see any sort of head-to-head, helmet-to-helmet, stuff, you're going to get it. I go back and forth on that, because one of the things that's primary focus of me as a parent, of me as somebody who loves high school football and high school athletes, is obviously safety has to be the forefront. And I guess if you're going to start doing those targeting calls and that sort of thing, get it done in week 1. That way it's established. You don't want that thing to start getting called in week 7 and 8 when, you could potentially, because when you lose that, I believe targeting, I don't know if that falls under, I know if you get 2 personal fouls, obviously you're out of the game, but I don't know if that's an immediate ejection. But you got to remember that if you're out of this game, you lose the first half of the next game too. So it can really change the outcome for some of these teams. And, one of the things I saw in the offseason is that even carries into the scrimmages. So those personal fouls and stuff that get called even in a scrimmage, there are some kids who are going to be starting week 1 with 1 personal foul. You have 1 slip up and you're taking a break in week 2.
That's tough. Look, the last game we had last night, the 6th game, was Niles at Howland. Howland walks away with a big dub, which I think a lot of people kind of had their eyes opened to that one. Howland, are they going to be a team that people are going to be talking about this year? The comeback that we're losing Noah Ricks, and right away we had another announcer come in and say, I want Howland. This could be a big year for the Tigers. Hot take, I know we're trying to keep your hot takes for the second half of this show, but could
Right.
Howland be a sleeper team here in the Valley?
Yeah, I think they definitely could. The way they played against Niles yesterday. I mean, I'm not saying like I don't know how to explain it. Like Niles isn't like the toughest team they're gonna have to play this year, but they still had a great eye nonetheless. They should have that momentum carrying in for the rest of the season. Sucks. It does suck losing to Rick, though, as their announcer, though.
Oh,
Great guy.
listen. They're disappointed, but he stays in the YSN family because Orange, baby, they are celebrating. They are dancing in the streets. Terry's backing it up. The fireworks are going off. They are ready for Noah Ricks in Pepper Pike. That is one thing that's for certain. But I know that they're disappointed in Howland, but they got a pretty doggone good announcer that's going to make his return to the YSN airwaves here in, I believe, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So we will welcome him in with open arms. He's a good friend of the program, good friend of mine, and he is certainly one that is going to make his presence felt in Howland because he's already part of that family. There's your hint.
That Howland and Niles game was one of the ones that I was actually trying to keep up with as I was at the Grand Valley Conneaut game, because one of the things I had been hearing all through the offseason through talking to different coaches and that sort of thing is that was really going to be kind of a temperature on the Niles team this year. Obviously, they lose one of the best running backs we've ever seen on this network in Anton Gardner. But there were some questions as to how they were going to bounce back, and they were using Howland as kind of a temperature and a standpoint for where this Niles team was going to be. And I don't know how accurate that is going to be because, you can lose to a team from Howland that struggled in the past. And for all we know, Howland could go out there and get 10 of them this year and be a number 1 seed. And it really means nothing. But I think what that did for me, as an outsider's perspective, looking at a team like Niles is that really a good standpoint? I'm going to be watching Niles very closely this year.
I think there's a lot of people that are going to be watching Niles and Howland very closely. So a nice start to the season. About just over 23,000 people tuned in last night on YSN. So a successful night on our end. Certainly looking forward to I think a much bigger night tonight. 6 games last night, 24 games tonight on the network. Again, as much as we love you, sitting back, kicking up your feet, and lounging at your house and doing all that stuff, go out. It's a beautiful night. Go out and support your local community, the football team, whoever they are, wherever they are, support them. Take your device with you, and you can watch us from the stadium. It's that easy. You can be a lightning bug and watch during the game and keep everybody around you. That whole section, keep them up to date on what's going on YSN. Boys, you know what time it is. We've waited long enough. It is pick'em time. It is week 1. We have 24 games to pick, and some of us have hot takes. Some of us have no idea of what teams are going to be at this point. We're just taking wild guesses. So if you're watching at home, if you're watching in the locker room, buckle up because it's about to get bumpy. Ladies and gentlemen, we start our picks this season with Beaver Local and Struthers. And Siggy, you know a thing or two about the Beaver Local Beavers. There's a lot of people already counting them out in this game because there is a lot, and I mean a lot, of eyes on the Struthers Wildcats. What's your take on this one?
I think that streak goes both ways on why they're counting the Beavers out. They got to replace 3,000 yards of offense and over 40 touchdowns in Austin Klein from a year ago. So he was the dude in that offense, and he made it run. At quarterback, they're going to have to rely on a receiver, Taylor Johnson, to step in and fill that role. They still have athletes all over the field. Could be a bit of a transition year for the Beavers. On the flip side, Struthers, there's no transition there. They lost 1 running back. They had 3 guys over 1,300 yards last year. 2 of them are coming back. And Mr. Dukes, he leads the show on offense. So it's going to be tough to go against Struthers playing at home tonight. And I'm going to lean with the Wildcats as they beat the Beavers last year, and I think they're going to do it again this year.
Oh, and for those of you who don't know, Siggy's brother, twin brother, nonetheless, is the athletic director at Beaver Local, who he just picked against. So
He did.
There goes your Christmas present, pal, and your birthday.
For 2 years, I thought that Chris was doing both of those jobs. I thought he was the most amazing human being on earth, doing everything here and that. DJ, you had to correct me. I believe it was this summer.
Yeah. And then they throw a wrench in this at the Redwood golf outing because they dress exactly the same, and they didn't mean to.
Well, and I got one more for you. As I was the privilege to call the Little Beavers against the Little Potters last weekend, and so many little kids came up to me thinking I was the other Mr. Sigler there, and it was all day long, and their parents knew it, and it was funny. And I just corrected them and said, "I am Mr. Sigler. I'll tell the other one you said hello." So it was
That's
good.
awesome.
It's always a good time.
All right, Colucci, who do you got? Beaver Local, Struthers.
Give me Struthers with the NE8 school.
Okay. Hot take.
Yeah, I'm going with Struthers in this one also. Obviously,
Sam.
being a Struthers Wildcat myself.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Sam.
So one of my favorite parts of the year is getting the moniker of the Struthers Wildcat lover. They love me there, and it's been a couple years going, and Beaver Local, I think it's a rural area, and Hank Williams Jr. said a country boy can survive. Give me Beaver Local in this one.
Atta boy.
Wow.
Atta boy.
Wow. He wastes no time getting on the crap list of every Struthers human being in the area. Congratulations, Sam. Welcome back. We're proud to have you. All right, game 2, Canfield at West Branch. This one, folks, has been a knockdown, drag-out fight for as many years as they've played it. Siggy, you and I talked about in the truck last night. We think this is one of the premier games each and every year going into it, and there's a lot of eyes that are like, I can't believe this is not a premier game in the area. But you know what? We'll be there. We certainly will. Canfield, West Branch. Let's go reverse order. Sam, who you got in this one?
West Branch is one of the most impressive football programs I've ever seen. Every year, one of the things that was said earlier in the show, we talked about teams that just reload. They don't rebuild, they reload. And West Branch seems to have that. I don't know where they keep finding these guys that can throw the ball from the parking lot all the way to the gym, but they figure it out. But Canfield is Canfield. And until I'm wrong, I'm going to run with Canfield. Give me the Cardinals.
Here's another question. I'm going to put, we didn't talk about this, and I know this is kind of, behind the scenes stuff. Should I pick this year?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
All right. I avoided it last year just from the standpoint of I didn't want to make anybody mad. Do we care?
It's all
No.
fun. It's all
All
fun.
right, let's do it. All right. I'm going to take Struthers in the first one. I'm taking Struthers. I'm taking West Branch. I'm taking West Branch here. They've got two guys, and Joey Jackson, who potentially this year is going to be the all-time leading receiver. Boston Molinex, potentially the all-time leading rusher. And you've got JT Money back at QB this year, fresh off a state championship in baseball. And oh, by the way, he runs a 4.440. So, he's going to spell a lot of trouble for a lot of teams this year that are on West Branch's schedule. So, Canfield, I think, there's a lot of unknowns, and that's really the only reason I'm picking against them from this point is you just don't know what you have right now. And there's a lot of youth on that team. They've got 12 seniors this year, as opposed to usually 19, 20, guys, at a senior leadership position in that locker room. I'm going with West Branch. Hot take.
Both great teams, like you guys mentioned, but I think the tiebreaker for me personally is that 12th man that West Branch has. Every single year, they have one of the best, most rowdy crowds in the area. Even when I was playing at Struthers, we played a scrimmage there. It felt like a regular season game. I think that's going to be the difference tonight for them, so I'm going to take West Branch.
I wonder if we're going to see a Beloit versus the world flag in the crowd. I want to see it. Bring them out. We had them during baseball season. I want to see it. Siggy, who you have?
You're exactly right, Eric. It's that 12th man, that West Branch crowd. It's great. It's a great atmosphere out there. A lot to replace in Canfield this year. You talked about it, DJ. West Branch is loaded. They may be one of the best teams that go unblemished this year. Good chance for this. A name you didn't mention alongside Mullinex and Jackson and JT at quarterback stepping in for Alizos this year. Gavin Gregory, the tight end, 6'7", 235. That is a name you're going to hear this year. The kid is a weapon, and you'll hear it a lot this year. Give me the Warriors tonight.
He's an underclassman, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
He's
Isn't
only a
he
junior. He's
Yeah.
a junior. I saw him play last year against Alliance, and it was like his coming out party last year. 2 or 3 touchdowns in that game, and he's just a force on the field.
For those of you who are keeping score at home, Gavin Gregory is also the young man that came out of the stands in the YSN All-Star game in the slam dunk competition when we needed somebody in street clothes and still hammered one down. So, yes, Gavin Gregory is definitely somebody to watch. 6'7", 235, and the comps are Travis Kelce. Everybody I've talked to, Travis Kelce. And I'm like, well, he's already taller than him. Let's see how he does from that standpoint. And you know what? If he marries Taylor Swift, good for him. Good on him. So he's going to need a couple more ice cream seasons before he's dating Taylor Swift, though. So hands off, Taylor. Colucci, what do you got?
I was fortunate enough to watch West Branch play South Range in a scrimmage, and they actually beat South Range in a scrimmage. So
pretty
it
good
was,
too.
It was a pretty good scrimmage. Glad to see it, but I got to go with West Branch in this one.
West Branch. All right. So the brooms are out for West Branch here.
No. We have a lone wolf.
Oh! You took Canfield?
I took Canfield.
How did I miss that? I'm sorry, Sam. You know what? Because I was thinking about should I pull a pick here? Should I pick?
That's it.
That's what it was. All right. You got the howl. We're ready to go. All right. I already lost my place. We're already 2 in. Carrollton at East Liverpool. Gary Burton's on the call for us tonight. Siggy, you said it last night. You said this could be the year for East Liverpool. I'm not laughing. I'm trying to choke back a cough. For me, East Liverpool has always had an issue of putting everything together. They either have the line or they have the skill. Very few times have they had them both. You think this might be one of those few times?
Yeah, they have a lot of skill returning this year. Gavin Wright's coming back at quarterback, a lot of yards last season. The biggest block with East Liverpool is they're still trying to learn how to win as a program, not burying your heads when something goes wrong. And Coach Cusick did a good job last year of turning that corner. Really, after the Beaver local game early in the season, they turned that corner, I think. 6 wins last year, looking for more this year. I'm going to have a flavor today of I need to prove it. You need to prove it to me that you're going to do it this year before I can buy in. Carrollton's got 20 kids coming back from a successful year last year. First-year head coach is Jimmy T. Goes back to Lisbon to help things out this year. I saw him this morning. Carrollton's physical team. I'm going to take the Warriors on the road down to Patterson Field tonight. I know I'm going to hear about that too.
You were just a scumbag today. Everybody.
I'm a realist, and I just want to think. I got to prove it to believe it. I heard in the scrimmages this year, East Liverpool. I work with somebody that's familiar with East Liverpool, and their defense really didn't come to play in the scrimmages. So it's kind of hard to turn that corner. You're not just going to flip the switch on the first game. So I take that to heart, and that's why I'm going to stick with the Warriors, who are really experienced.
Fur.
I'm a company guy. I got it on my right here. Give me the Potters.
Attaboy. Well, way to bleed blue. Appreciate you. Hot take.
I'll take the Potters also.
Atta baby. Hot take. All right, Sammy.
Potters are hotter. Give me East Liverpool. And I got a chance to see that stadium. It's dope. The team is dope. They're winning tonight.
That's awesome. All right, and I also have a Potter hat that I'm not tall enough to bring down. I needed to stand on a chair, so I'm not going to do that in front of everybody.
Well, get one of the Gregorys, because I'm pretty sure the standard height in that family is about 6'4".
Yeah, right? Yeah. All right, so, but I'm going to give you something. I got to go full screen on this, and if you know it, sing it with me, okay? Here we go. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Paul Cusick. I believe in Paul Cusick. Yeah, baby. Give me the Q. I'm taking Cusick all day. That guy is going to have a statue built outside of East Liverpool. So everybody that drives by to anything Potter, and everything's named Patterson, correct, Siggy? So I'm not out of line saying that?
Patterson Field is the field.
Patterson Field House as well?
No, Patterson Field is where the football team plays. Potter Fieldhouse is where the basketball team plays.
Well, guess what? I think Patterson should take the field house, and it should be Cusick Field because Paul Cusick is on the highway to heaven, not the other way, the highway to heaven. I'm taking the Potters, not because I'm a company guy, because I believe in Paul Cusick. Yeah, see, everybody knows. If you don't know that, look up Joe Hendry. That's all you need to do. Hot take. You know that one yet?
Nope.
Well, that went well. All right, let's go to Columbiana at Louisville. You got this one fresh off that cold-blooded dagger you just threw at me. How do you got this one going?
Well, I mentioned earlier that it's a completely different Louisville team this year. First time years, they don't have a Balone in their center. This year, they got a new kid, Ricky Wilrich, who actually talked to Michael Balone's dad a few times, and he even said Ricky Wilrich has potential to be the next great Louisville quarterback. He might not look like a big kid, but he does have a cannon for an arm. He used to train with Michael, very hard worker. But he did lose a lot of skilled players on the offensive side of the ball, however, so we're going to have to see how that goes. He did get a security blanket tight end AJ Belkey back this year, who's a junior. He's going to have him for the next couple of years at least. And he's also kind of their quarterback on defense, I'd say. And you kind of saw last year, they played Columbia the first game of the year. It was a complete different Louisville team last year also, but Louisville pulled that one out in the end, avoiding overtime. And I think they'll do the same thing here tonight. So give me the Rockets.
Rockets, all right. We welcome Gary Altizer to the show. Hey, Gary, welcome in, buddy. Welcome in.
Good to be here.
Sam, who do you have, Columbia and Louisville?
I just have one question. Is the greatest man I've never got a chance to meet still coaching that team?
Well, let me tell you something, brother. Yeah, Bob Spate is still the head coach at Columbiana.
If Bob is coaching Columbiana, I'm rooting for Columbiana. Give me the Clippers.
Big game, Bob. All right, Colucci, who do you have?
Eric Hughes is 100% right about Ricky Wilrich. I got to ref a lot of his flag football games when he was a lot younger before high school, and he's a stud. He's going to be for sure an athlete here. We're going to talk a lot about him on the network in years to come. Give me Louisville.
Did you get his autograph by chance?
No, but actually I do have a quick story. His flag football team was down by like 30 points going into halftime. They came back around in the championship and won it. They came like a 4-score differential and came back and won the game in the second half. It was
off of the arm.
Yes, off of the arm of Ricky Wilrich. It was the craziest flag football game I've ever seen.
I'm pumped about it, man. I mean, I'm ready. I can't wait to read that book, that story that you're about to write for Ricky Wilrich. I'm being serious. I'm all in. He could be the next generation. Chris Hughes. Jeez, oh man. Chris Sigler. Who do you have?
I'm going to go with Louisville. I think they're playing at home. It's the again. You got to prove it to me. Coach Spate's got 40 kids on that roster this year, which is good numbers for Columbiana. A lot of youth on that roster as well. So I think they're gonna be headed in the right direction this year, but I think not tonight. It's gonna be Louisville.
Gary Altizer.
Well, this is tackle football, if I recall right. So
yes, it is.
Throw all that flag football stuff out the window. Didn't this game go to double overtime last year? Columbiana was winning, and I think Louisville came back and won in week 1. And that Louisville team was pretty special. Could argue it was maybe even better than the team the year before, but I just don't see that happening this year. I just think Columbiana is probably going to be too much for them. Like Chris said, they got a nice roster. They got a good size in there. I just think they're probably going to be able to wear Louisville out. So give me the Clippers.
Hughes, is it Vinny Perry or who? There's a Perry in the backfield, right?
There's Gino Perry, the running back, and then
Gino Perry. That's what I'm going. I like Perry.
Vinny Perry was a lineman.
Okay. I like Perry. I like Wilrich. I like the story that Fur was just talking about. And I'm going to get his autograph. I'm going to go with Louisville. I'm going to be the anti-Columbiana guy, anti-Columbiana County guy, and I'm going with Louisville. So I'll take the Rockets.
Don't say Perry around Colucci. He gets his feelings hurt.
Hey, I beat Perry.
Yeah.
your team, okay? Be a program guy. Start with the
our
eyes,
team.
okay?
Hey, I'm the biggest team guy you got here. I'll start picking non-YSN schools.
You have turned into an eye guy over the summer. See what happens to you? You're just an eye guy.
Negative.
All right, let's go to Perry as they make their triumphant debut on YSN against Madison. Sam, you're the only one that knows where the hell Madison is. So tell us about Perry at Madison.
So this year, Perry and Madison, for those of you not really familiar with these two programs, is one of the oldest rivalries out this way. Two very good programs. Obviously, Perry's been on the upswing over the last couple of years, but Madison has been trying to get back there. Madison's going to have a kid as a tight end who stands right around 6'5". And he's going to play a big part of their passing game. And I know it's weird to talk about tight end when you're talking about your primary passing game, but Madison tries to play you inside of a phone booth. It's old school, hard-nosed. That's what they're going to do. But Perry's got guys out there like Malone. They didn't graduate too many guys from that state championship team last year. Perry is a well-oiled machine. They are going to go out there and give the Blue Streaks their first L of the year.
I can tell you without question, Perry is not happy about moving up to D4 after they dominated D5 last year. I'm taking Perry because they are going to be angry. Eric Hughes, who do you have?
I'm going to take Perry also. I mean, even ever since I was in high school, Perry also was kind of a powerhouse in my eyes. We actually had to play them one year in the playoffs, my junior year, I believe it was, and they destroyed us. And they're still really good to this day. So I'm going to take Perry in this one.
A little PTSD for hearing Perry name like Fur. Gary, who do you have?
Hey DJ, we was talking earlier today. Me, you, Hake, and Fur tagged along too with that run.
That the Raiders still not sure what he did in that game.
What? Yeah, Chris. Yeah, he was. That was the only one that we lost too. You know, we had a great winning streak, but that Perry team was something else. You know, they weren't big. That was one of the things. Their offensive line guys were 200 pounds, 210, 220, and they just, man, I mean, they blew through almost basically everybody the whole season. I don't see that slowing down. Them moving up to D4, you said they're upset about it. Maybe they'll take that out on the field. I don't see them slowing down. I mean, you come back after a state championship team, the excitement's got to be through the roof for the season and with the kids. There's no way I'm picking against Perry.
Siggy.
I'm with you, Gary. I got to see them take down Garfield last year in the postseason just before they defeated South Range. And just the athletes on the field that Perry throws out there. You're right, not a lot of size, but those kids are well coached. They know what they're doing. They execute the right way. And it's just a machine right now, that program is. And I'm just going to stick with the Pirates.
Fur?
Chris's face every time you say it. It's the best.
Perry's going to be a little upset this year. They're a little sad, and they're going to be too sad. Give me the YSN school, baby. Give me Madison.
That a boy. Way to be a team player there. We're proud of you.
My record's going to be horrible.
There's no I in team, but there's an I in Chris, and we got two of them. So we're on to Edgewood and Garrettsville Garfield. All right, Sam, what do you know about this one?
So this is of all the week one matchups in, I'll call it on the lakefront, these Ashtabula teams up here, I think this is probably the toughest in week one. Garrettsville Garfield, and I do not mean this in a negative way at all, but they literally bully other teams. That's what they do. They're stronger. They don't have to necessarily be faster. That they just go out there and they're going to bully you up and down the field. Edgewood is coming this year. They graduate 17 seniors from that team last year. They've got a brand new backfield, brand new wide receivers, brand new defense. A lot of people are really, really down on these guys. But here's some positives I can tell you about the Edgewood Warriors this year. This junior quarterback in Nate Stewart that's coming in has sat behind Tony Hall for 2 years. And believe it or not, he may have a better overall strength in his arm than Tony even. They've got a guy by the name of Riley Baldwin, stands about 6'3", 6'4", huge wingspan, catches everything you throw around him. He is going to be a big-time player in this game. The backfield is really going to be what wins or loses this game for Edgewood. I think they need to go out there and get a statement win. I'm going to go out on a limb. Hold on to your chairs here, folks. I'm taking Edgewood.
Shocker. Let's go to Eric Hughes.
I'm going to go with the G-Men in this one.
All right. Gare?
Yeah, I don't know much, about either team. Obviously, we know what Garfield did last year. Keegansell graduated, but like Sam said, when you lose 17 seniors, I mean that's gotta hurt. And I know that Garfield team, they do pound people, they beat you up, and in the fourth quarter you're worn out. And I can't see them losing to a team that's lost that much firepower from last year. So give me the G-Men.
Sigs.
I think the loss of Keegansell is huge for the G-Men. They're going to be really young this year. There's not a lot of seniors on that roster. They got to replace the quarterback as well. And I know Edgewood lost a lot of players off that team last year, but they know how to win now. And I think they have some momentum. And I'm going to go with Edgewood tonight.
Let's go to Fur, where Keegansell's out. He finally graduated after 38 years. I mean, the guy's been on YSN longer than I have. Can they move on without and victoriously without Keegansell or what?
No, honestly, in honor of Big Mike, I got to go with Edgewood.
Oh. Wow.
I swear to God, Chris, if he pops up now because you took the genie out of the bottle, I'm coming over to your house.
Bring it.
If he pops out of the log cabin and somehow gets internet, we're in big trouble here. I'm going to take – I know Keegan graduated in all seriousness. I know he left. I'm going to go with Garfield because I think – there's a lot of people that feel the same way and, thinking the same way we do. I'm going to go with Garfield and say that they find somebody else. I don't know who. We'll find out tonight, right?
It's a roster. It's only got 5 seniors on it. I just counted, and it's littered with sophomores. So Coach Moser, if he takes his time and coaches that team up the right way, he could really have something special. I think long game.
If they do what they do well, and that's play in a phone booth, they're going to dominate this game. If Edgewood can make them go to plan B, that's where Edgewood gets dangerous in tonight's contest. That's what I'm going to say. That's my analysis. That's pretty blind, but I mean, take it for what it's worth. If you've seen Garfield play, you know that they just kill the clock. That's all they do. So it'll be interesting to see. All right. Next game is going to be Euclid at Fitch. Tim Corso has the call for us tonight. I've been taking Fitch every single time somebody asks me for a sleeper. I don't know why people sleep on Fitch. They play one of the toughest schedules of any team on our entire network. I like Fitch in this game. I think coming to Greenwood Stadium, I think it's going to be a huge advantage for them because Fitch shows up, especially week 1, especially when there's a lot of hype, and especially when there's a lot of people that are peeing in their Cheerios. I'm taking Fitch. Sam, what about you?
Euclid is one of those teams in that the Senate League out there in Cleveland that really, really struggles. Fitch, it's a Division I program. I call them point grabbers. I'm surprised more schools haven't gone out and put Euclid on their schedule. I think Fitch wins this one big time. They might be home in time to run audible call. That's how quick this game's going to be done.
Wow. Hot take.
I'll be a company guy and take Fitch.
This is one I don't think you have to be a company guy to take Fitch.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. Gary Altizer.
I'll go with the Falcons.
Chris.
Give me Fitch.
Fur. Sweep it up. All right, Gerard at Jefferson. We've got a couple. Sam, you're doing this game. Take us quickly through this one.
So, Jefferson this year, obviously they have the toughest year you can have legitimately in football last year. They go 0-10, but they lost absolutely no starters from that year last year. They've got some guys that have come back in this year, ready, rearing to go. One of the guys that I think everybody on your sports network, all the fans, all the broadcasters should get to know is a guy by the name of Terry Brown. Terry Brown is 6'4" with right around a 7-foot wingspan. This guy is a playmaker. He catches everything. He is going to make big time plays all year. Girard is a team that, I don't know if you necessarily can call them rivals, but this is a team that gets the double circle from Jefferson every year. Even back in their NE8 days, this was a team they always tried to get up for. From what I understand, Girard's quarterback not going to be with the Indians this year, playing for another team. I think it opens the door up for Jefferson to get this party started tonight. Get ready for some big-time Coach Hanna antics. Jefferson wins tonight.
All right, Eric Hughes?
I got Gerard pulling out a big one on the road. I almost said Jefferson there, but I got Gerard winning.
I thought you were going for the
right
swerve.
first time.
Gary. Are you just trying to have all NE8 teams hate you, Sam? Is that what your goal is by the end of the year?
If you're going to do something, you may as well do it right.
You pulled that pin and you rolled it on that bridge. I see how you're doing it. Altizer, go ahead.
Yeah, last year we kept waiting for that Jefferson team to kind of come together. It didn't happen. The year before that they went on all the way to the state semis, quarterfinals, and then to come through and to go 0-10 like that has to hurt. Not losing anybody helps a lot, but I can't go against the Indians. Give me Gerard.
Don't get Sam started on that team because that started a lot of late conversations in Las Vegas. So, Stigler.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with my theme, as I said earlier. Got to prove it to me. Jefferson, tough year last year. Here comes Gerard into town. I'm going to take Gerard.
Fur?
One former NE8 school, one current NE8 school. I think I got to go with Gerard in this one, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm taking the Tribe. I'm going with Gerard in this one. I think, Sam, we watched your combine. We listed all the way through it. They got a lot of talent, but I think Gerard's better than just losing one guy. So I'm going to take Gerard in this one.
New field at Jefferson. Remember that. New field, one of the best in Ohio.
Man.
Just saying.
What is a new field? I mean, you can still get your ass kicked on pavement. It doesn't matter what you play on. It matters how you play. That's where I'm at. Brookfield at Hubbard. Zach and Brayton have this one. I mean, I think this might have some of the best ramifications for game of the night because there's just not a lot to know. Brookfield looks strong again. I heard they were in the weight room a lot, changing up a lot of things. I'm going to go with Brookfield, even though I think Hubbard is going to keep it close and might have the lead a couple times throughout the night. I'm going to go with Brookfield. Sam.
Yeah, Brookfield is one of those teams. I talk a lot about how I was talking about how Garrettsville bullies you for 4 quarters, and they just, put all their strength, and their offensive lines year after year are very, very strong. Brookfield is kind of like a clone, in my eyes, to Garrettsville Garfield. So they're a very, very good team. But I'll tell you what, the Hubbard running game is one that I have respected for years, and I continue to respect it. I'm going Eagles in this one.
All right. Hughes?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Northeast 8 team this one. Give me the Eagles.
Gare?
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Sig?
I'm going to go with Brookfield here. They got Rico Smith back at running back. The quarterback's another year of experience coming back there. I'm going to take Brookfield in the road win.
Fur?
I love my NE8 schools. Give me Hubbard.
Next game is Kenston at Boardman. Tough year for the Spartans last year, but as I tell everybody, Midnight Madness, August 1st, they were out in full force. Coaches were getting after the kids. I like the Spartans here getting the season off to a nice start. Let's go reverse order. Let's go Fur Dog.
Give me Boardman.
Sig?
I'll take Boardman at home.
Gare?
Yeah, why not? We go with the Spartans.
Hughes?
Give me the Spartans also.
Sammy?
Just before I make this pick, Zach House, is he back with Boardman this year, the quarterback from last year?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Boardman on this one. There might be 700 yards passing in this game between both of those teams, but give me the Spartans.
Zach, he was on every week when we had the Boardman show. My guy is well acquainted with the media here, especially here on the network. All right, Lakeside and East Lake North. I know Tyler Hartz is doing this, a hero to the Republic here of YSN. Sam, what do you got for this one?
So East Lake North is one of those programs. They're in that Western Reserve Conference. Really struggled last year. Lakeside was able to get them last year. One of Lakeside's 4 wins. But East Lake North has come back with a giant line. Nobody on that offensive line in East Lake North is going to be under about 215. They're big guys out there. But Lakeside is coming with one of the best skilled position groups you're going to see. They have 3 running backs that can make big plays in different ways. J. Anthony Williams is a St. Ed's transfer coming into Lakeside. Devin Miller brings in 900 yards of rushing from last year. Nate Bartone is a bulldozer who got 700 yards in between tackles last year. The biggest question for Lakeside this year is going to be at quarterback. It's going to be a first-year starter in Omar Ambris. They got to go out there and get it done big tonight if they want to get their confidence. And I think Lakeside is going to do it under first-year head coach Terry Henton. Give me the Dragons.
I'll take the Dragons as well. Hughes?
I'll go Lakeside.
Gare?
Same.
Sig?
You just sold me the car, Sam. Give me Lakeside.
Fur?
I remember last year Sam saying something about them having a good wrestling team. And whether that's true or not, give me Lakeside.
Here we go.
Yes, there it is.
Next game, McDonald at Champion. Battle of Trumbull County. Noah Ricks has the call. Fur, who do you have?
Give me Champion.
Ziegler, sorry.
This is a tough game to call. I'm going to go with McDonald on the road.
Gare?
Same, McDonald.
I'm also going to go with McDonald, the Puckett and Zajac connection. Sam?
I got a chance to see Champion this year, and they got an Ashtabula guy that's the head coach, and Ken Parise. They're doing a lot of great things over there. So give me Champion.
Man, we are such a homer network, dude. Just we latch on like a dog on meat. It's incredible.
It's in the blood, baby.
Hughes.
I'll go with Champion this one. I kind of have to see how the McDonald quarterback situation plays out. Because remember last year they would have Zajac in some sets. Other sets they'd have Puckett.
Sam, if it was the Ashtabula All-Star team versus the Cleveland Browns, who would you take?
Give me Ashtabula by 6 touchdowns.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Mentor Lake Catholic at Cardinal Mooney. Sig, you have this one, a little background.
You know, Mooney's looking for their first winning season since 17 this year. 5 wins last year for Coach Pelini. They have a lot to replace. Ashton O'Brien graduated. 2,400 yards of offense is gone for the Cardinals this year. But that defense, they got 10 guys coming back on that defense. All Ohioan. Dennis Clark returns. Good linebacking core. Mentor Lake Catholic's got a quarterback that threw for 3,200 yards last year. A receiver that's got 77 receptions. And, oh, by the way, a Minnesota recruit at tight end. So this is going to be one of those games where I think Mooney's got to keep it close early in the game to keep them a chance, because that offense has got to prove that they can still pump it with a new quarterback this year. So I'm going to ride the line. I'll take Mooney at home, but they got to keep it close in the first half to give themselves a chance.
Fur.
Cardinal Mooney.
You didn't like that one. That's a company pick right there. I can tell by your tone. He's not going to respond to that. Gary.
Yeah, I mean, it's just listening to what Chris has to say with that lineup from Lake Catholic. I mean, Mooney at home, game 1, you know, first game of the season, first week of the season, every single high school football team is excited at the possibilities. Hopefully Mooney can pull through, you know, with it being at home. I mean, I'm not confident, but I'm just going to go with Mooney.
I'm going to go with Mooney, and I'm going to say they're going to punch Lake Catholic in the mouth. And they're going to show them that this is a physical Mooney team that is going to get it done. But more so, to Chris's point, this is a defensive team. This is going to be a team that is going to keep a lot of scratch and claw marks all over those offensive jerseys. I'm taking Mooney, and I'm taking them probably a lot this year. Let's go to Sam.
Yeah, Lake Catholic is one of the teams, if you look at, various discussion groups, that people are legitimately picking these guys to potentially win Division 4 this year and be able to beat the Megatron that is known as Glenville. Lake Catholic is very, very good. Mooney's athletic director is a man's man, because that schedule that he's got those guys playing this year might be the hardest I've ever seen. They don't
the head
get a
coach
week
of the
off,
football team.
and it is not going to start this week. I think Mooney, like you said, they're going to punch him in the mouth because they're going to have to. Flex your muscles, Mooney. Let's go. Give me Mooney.
Yeah, give me the Cardinals in this one.
We go to a Trumbull versus Ashtabula, or Beulah County, as Sam refers to it. Mineral Ridge at Pymatuning Valley. Listen, I have a special place in this little ticker up here for the black and orange. The home, the most famous alumni, Andrew Hake, who still has a state record, a school record inside of those hallways. Mineral Ridge, baby. Balestrino all day. He's going to have not only a breakout year, but he might break some of those records and have his name glorified right next to Andrew Tiberius Hake. Sam.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, and I know I do because I just did previews on these teams, this game was decided on like the last 30 seconds of the game last year. Yeah. It was an absolute dogfight. The Pymatuning Valley Lakers are a well-oiled machine. They graduated one whole senior from that team last year. They bring back 3,500 yards in rushing and 37 touchdowns in two guys, Ryan Croston and Ty Vickery. This Lakers team, the offensive line is all the same from last year. They are ready and rearing to go. It's one of those losses that has been in the back of their mind since last year. The Lakers are at home. The cowbells will be ringing. The crowd will be singing. It's Lakers tonight. And Chad Paul on the call.
Yeah, Sam mentioned that game last year between Pie Valley and Ridge. I was actually on the call for that game, and I agree that was a very entertaining game because Mill Ridge had blew them out the year before. Then Pie Valley came back in Mill Ridge, almost pulled it out there. But still, I think Mill Ridge has a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. I think they'll get it done on the road, so give me the Rams.
Gare?
Yeah, I agree. I think that game last year was like 29-22.
28-25, something.
Yeah,
it was like a 3-point game.
It was a close game. Yeah, give me the Lakers.
Nature Boy.
I'm gonna take PV. I'm gonna take PV. I know they hate to be called that. So I'll take Pymatuning Valley just because of the identity. They'll just maul you. They're so big usually up front, and they'll just shorten the game. And I think that's the ticket, and a lot of experience on that side of the ball this year.
Just a slight correction. They're okay with PV. They do not like Pie
Valley.
Valley.
That's right. You're right.
Dear Lord, do they not like Pie Valley? Whew, they don't like Pie Valley. Fur.
Is Ian O'Brien still in Mineral Ridge?
Like the Ian O'Brien that worked for us?
Wasn't there? I'm thinking of who was the good running back from Mineral Ridge last year?
Ian Erb.
Ian Erb. Is he still with them or did he graduate?
Pretty sure he graduated.
All right, then give me the Lakers.
One guy. I know it's Ian Erb, but one guy.
To be fair.
Man, I'm with you, Balestrino. I'm with you. You just remember that. The helmet lives behind us. And shame on you, Gary Altizer. Another team that's black and orange, and you root against them? How dare you, sir?
Not bad. Jeez.
Let's go to New Philly versus Louisville. I'm taking Louisville. Let's make this a quick one, boys. Sam.
Leopards, baby.
Hughes.
Louisville.
Gary.
When I was a little lad, second half of my kindergarten year, I was a Quaker. So give me New Philly.
Scumbag. Sigler.
I'll take Louisville at home in a brutal schedule. They have one every year, considering the teams they have to play where they're located. So I'm going to take Louisville at home.
Fur?
Welcome back, Louisville. We missed you, and I'm picking you tonight.
That a boy. That's called research, folks. If you don't know, now you know. All right, Newton Falls at East Palestine. The GOAT, Tim Figley. I believe Dan Figley is going to be there as well on the call. These dogs are different. This is a new era in East Palestine. This is the wave they've been waiting for. Great senior leadership and a freshman and sophomore class that have been groomed for these moments. Can East Palestine start off the season with a victory this year? Sam Torres.
5-5 starts tonight. Give me the Bulldogs.
Oh, Eric Hughes.
I'll go East Palestine.
Oh my gosh. It's happening. It's happening. I'm going to wait. Gary's going to go last. Fur.
I wanted to go last. Who they play? Who's EP playing again?
Oh, geez.
Newton Falls.
I hate you. You're skipped. You're out. Sigler, remember, you're in Palestine right now.
Yeah, and I had it muted because the old train's going by. There it is.
There it
right
is!
in the background.
Choo choo Charlie. Let's go.
I'm gonna go with the Bulldogs. Yuriauchi, he's a quarterback, a senior. He's a good athlete, and I think that's a good looking roster this year. They got good numbers on that squad this year, so I think they're gonna do it first game of the year.
I'm interested. I promise you go last, Altizer. I promise you go last. I'm interested because you've got Yuriauchi, who is the senior quarterback. You've got a freshman slinger in Clark Rutledge, who all Palestine people will remember. His uncle, Rob Clark, graduate of 2002, one of the best Bulldog football players of all time. And he's got some great lineage that ended up in the NFL too, but that's no big deal. NBD. So I'm taking the East Palestine Bulldogs, baby. Gary Altizer.
Yeah, that 0-2 Palestine team. I remember that team fondly. There was a barn burner at Wellsville. That was probably the best or second best Palestine team I've ever seen. Last year, I followed the Wellsville junior high team pretty close, and Palestine had a decent, legitimate junior high football team last year. So I know this freshman class coming up is pretty good. With the senior leadership and some youth with some athleticism. That game last year was 48-34 Newton Falls. I could see that score being flipped this year. Give me the Bulldogs.
Bulldog? Well, first off, is that a Bulldog sweep?
It's a sweep, baby.
That is a first timer, baby. Here on the Power Hour. Welcome back, Palestine. We're happy to have you.
I'll tell you, they have 24 kids that are freshmen and sophomores on that roster. So I think you got a good long game there with that program if they can keep all these kids involved.
I agree. These are kids that grew up through EPYSA, that played flag football, that understand it, that have a lot of them have dads that played sports in Palestine or moms that played sports in Palestine. So there's a lot of pride running through EP right now. And that brown and white is shining bright, baby. I love it.
Hey, we talked about it real quick, DJ, that's a winnable league, though, too. So they can get some wins and gain some confidence this year. Depth
is going to be huge. Experience is going to be huge. And I give a lot of credit to that coaching staff. Michael Dempster he's been very patient, and he's going to have to continue because, as we know, when 14-year-olds are playing 18-year-olds, there's going to be mistakes. Experience counts. So you've got to be patient with them. You got to let them grow. Hopefully they just grow a little bit quicker than expected. And Palestine continues to bust out the brooms here on the Power Hour. All right. Akron East at Cheney. I'm going with Cheney. That's easy. All right, Sam.
Yeah. The talent that Cheney brings in and year out, it's hard to pick against those boys. Give me the Cowboys.
Hughes.
Yeah, I'm taking Cheney also.
Gare.
Yeah, this just seems like a game that, Cheney's talent just going to be too much. Give me the Cowboys.
Sigs?
Stay disciplined. Who can stay the most disciplined in a game like this?
Yep.
I'll take Cheney.
Is this the game last year that went to the next day?
Yeah.
Okay.
They finished it on a Saturday afternoon, I believe.
I watched it here at Athletics. It was funny. Fur.
I'm just saying Radar picked Newton Falls, but it's whatever. Besides the point.
Radar, you're fired.
I picked Newton Falls too since you skipped me. Whatever. Choo choo. Go Bulldogs. I skipped
you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm picking Cheney.
I'm sorry, Chris. Did you really pick Newton Falls?
No, I wasn't going to pick Newton Falls. Radar picked Newton Falls.
You just said I picked Newton Falls. Choo choo. I didn't understand what you were trying to do
I
there.
said, let's go EP. Choo choo. Go Bulldogs.
That's not what I heard. I heard Newton Falls.
Well,
Choo choo. A little side jab there.
Yeah, that's why you got to be like that. Why are you the way you are, Chris Parisi?
I just learned the best from my boss.
Salem at Poland. Guys, this was not a game last year. This year, I'm going to make the argument. We're going to have a game. We got two teams that are trying to figure out who they are. Ron Johnson back at the helm here at Salem, a year older, a year wiser are these young Quakers. In Poland, they lost a lot, but I also heard they have a wave of freshmen coming in. They've got some young talent on that team. They're going to need the experience. Do they get it here tonight in victory formation against Salem? Let's start with you, Chris, so I don't jump over you. Who you got?
I'm sorry. Oh, am I? This is my game, isn't it? Poland and Salem.
It is your game.
Sorry, I went right over my head. I was dealing with something. NE8 school versus a Ron John. I called him Rob. Is it Rob John or Ron John?
Ron John.
Ron John. I called him Rob John for the longest time. Now it's Ron John.
Yeah, don't do that.
Ron John's got a great program. Hard season last year for him, but it's not gonna turn around here in week one. Give me Poland with the big win.
All right, Sig.
Tough season last year for the Quakers. They play in a brutal conference. Poland lost a lot. This is a tough game to pick. It really is. I'm going to take the Bulldogs at home in a close one. I think this game is close.
Let's go, Gary.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with Sig here. This is a tough one to pick. I've heard mixed reviews about this Bulldogs team. I've heard some people say they're going to be good and others say they're going to be down. I believe they moved down to Division 5, and I know in wrestling they moved to Division 3, so you got a shrinking high school population there. They had a good season last year and the year before. They might be down a little bit. I'm going to take the Bulldogs in a close one, but Salem's I think they're going to show some heart this season, come out and try to make up for last year.
You call it shrinking. I'm going to take the marketing route and call it concentrated. And I'm going to take the Bulldogs tonight with that concentrated talent on the field. Sam.
Yeah, Poland lost a lot of guys last year. Salem is a program that is improving. I think I'm going to, this is going to be a close one. Give me Poland by 3 touchdowns.
Ooh, geez. Oh, man. Calling out the touchdowns. Hughes.
So going back to when I started doing the show last year, I never once picked Poland, I don't think. And I don't think that's going to change this week. Give me Salem.
Oh, Quaker country rejoices. We are on to quite possibly the biggest rivalry of all the games in week one. It's Springfield, the Tigers, and they invade Rominger Stadium to play the South Range Raiders. I will have the game alongside Sam Bellino. Excited for this. Not excited because the camera is not working the way I want it to work. So we're back to the old school until we can figure something out, which, if you know me, really irritates me because I'm trying to bring something new in. I digress. I'm taking the Raiders, even though there has been a lot of controversy this week with our shows and some picks that were thrown out earlier. I'm taking the Raiders. Samuel.
Since I started coming on this show, one thing I hate to do is pick against Springfield. I just think that program gets it right year after year. I mean, like something like 95% of the boys who go to that school play football.
Swerve coming.
South Range this year, there's a certain team that got knocked out of their division, and I think they are prepping to go to Canton again this year. It starts this week. Give me the Raiders.
Hughes?
I mean, South Range, they're at home, right?
Yes.
South Range does have the better team overall, I feel like, but at the end of the day, I feel like Springfield's going to find a way to pull it out this time. Give me the Tigers.
Oh, okay. All right, I see you. Another YSN school. I'm not mad about it, Gary. This is another orange and black school, another Tigers school. Which way do you lean, sir?
Hey, I made a big mistake last year, week one. I was all hyped on Springfield, the new field that they had coming out. I said, I'm going with them. They're going to be pumped playing the defending champs, and they got smoked. I'm not making that mistake this year. Give me the Raiders.
Sig.
Too much experience for South Range this year. Raiders.
And oh,
Oh man, there we go.
hang on. There it is.
Oh,
Double rings. Double ringies. All right. We have
That's a
we're getting
flex, folks. That's a flex.
a little bit.
yeah.
Little bit. We're getting ready for the audible call, so you're going to hear some noises coming out of the studio here at Athletics. We are going to go to Union Local and Southern Local. Gary, you're the closest to this, I think. I mean, Stiggs knows a little bit about it. That's his part of town too. But what do you think about this game?
I think this is going to be a pretty good game. Union Locals from way down south in Belmont, Ohio. Or anybody that likes country music knows Jamboree in the Hills, way down there. This is going to be a tight game, I think. I believe this is at Southern. Union Local coming up this way. These are pretty evenly matched teams. I'm going to go with the Indians here in a real close one. Union Local's a little bit bigger school. They're traveling. I think that Coach Wright probably is able to pull this win out here this week. Last year, Southern lost a close game to Crestview in week 1, and they seem to get it figured out real quick after that. I don't think Coach Wright's going to make that mistake this year.
Lightning round, Sam.
Yeah, I got a Southern Local fan here in the house. I can't pick against them. Give me Southern Local and Jalen Pitts. Watch out for that freshman.
All right. I like that. A little name drop. I like it. I'll take the Indians as well. Eric Hughes.
I'm going to go with Southern this one. Actually, when I interned at WFMJ 2 years ago, I got to go to Southern for a playoff game. I believe it was. They're another team that has a legit 12th man.
Siggs?
Be a physical game. It's going to be a very physical game. I think maybe the last team to have the ball wins. I'll go with Southern.
Fur.
I don't think these guys understand what a lightning round is. Give me Southern.
Lightning round. United at Minerva. Fur.
United.
Sig.
I'm going to annoy Fur.
Oh my
United
God.
lost a lot. Luke Courtney graduated. Minerva's lost 34 games in a row. Give me the Eagles.
Okay. All right. Got it. Care.
Eagles.
Nice. Very nice. Let's go Hughes.
United.
Sam. The
Give me the U.
I will also take DJ Ogilvy's Eagles. Fairport Harding and Latonia. Sam.
Give me Latonia.
Yeah! I'm going to take Latonia too. Hughes.
I'll go Latonia. Why
Let's
not?
go. There's 3. Let's go, Gary.
Hey, new coach in there for the Bears. Lots of returning offensive firepower. Bears.
4 for the Bears. Sigler.
They burned me last year because they were my surprise team last year.
0-10.
Yeah, thanks for that reminder, Gary. I'm gonna go. I'm going Fairport until they prove me otherwise. Give me Fairport Harding on the road.
Wow.
Man.
I
Your
did it.
Cheerios were soggy this morning, weren't they?
Yep.
Go to the next. Call him the lone wolf. Give me Latonia.
Lone Wolf. I'm not even going to acknowledge. We will acknowledge our tribal chief, and that today, my friends. He's Palestine that has a sweep in Latonia with 5 picks. The EOAC's on fire, baby. On fire. Wyndham at Lisbon. We just talked about the EOAC. Lisbon featured the last team in Columbiana County to win a state championship, 1995. I'm rolling with the Blue Devils. I'm rolling with the Blue Devils and their ground game. That's going to get them this win tonight against the Bombers. I'm going to take them. I think it's going to be close, but I'm going to take them. Sam.
Give me Lisbon, baby.
Hughes.
Lisbon.
Fur.
I love Lisbon's field. Give me Lisbon.
What do you like about Lisbon's field?
I don't know. I played there in 6th grade and got a roughing the punter penalty. That's the only thing I really remember. I just love their stadium, love their field. Give me Lisbon.
You just based your pick on a roughing the punter penalty and a field. All right, I like it. Let's go to Sigler.
I'll take Lisbon.
Gare,
I guess the Blue Devils in a close one.
I guess. Let's go to Cardinal. Is it? Yeah, Cardinal at LeBray. Fur, start us off.
LeBray.
Gary,
LeBray.
Chris,
LeBray.
Sam,
Give me the Vikings.
Eric.
MVAC school all day. Give me LeBray.
I'm taking the Vikings as well. All right, that is the Friday games. We have one tomorrow. Gary, I'm going to give this to you because you showed up for the show today. Wellsville and Steubenville Central Catholic. I'm assuming you're taking the Tigers?
Yes, young Tigers team, very young team. They got a lot of varsity playing time last year. Catholic Central lost a lot. Head coach Eric Meek said he's never coached a group of kids that needed coached up this much. It was his exact word. So I'm guessing he's got a lot of inexperience. Tigers have been playing together, working a lot in the off season, hitting the weight room. Give me the Tigers.
Love it. I'll take the Tigers as well. Sam?
Jerseys are dope. Stadium is dope. Team is dope. Give me Wellsville.
Congratulations, by the way, to Wellsville on being part of College Football 25, our winners
Right.
of that vote. Congratulations to them. Eric Hughes?
Wellsville.
Chris?
Wellsville needs to win this game. 1 of 6 on the road to start the season. I'll take the Tigers.
Gary, you got to talk to somebody about that. That's not cool, man.
Yeah. Tell me
Not
about
cool. Let's go. Yeah, right. You're begging for games right now just to get into the booth.
it. Right.
Let's go to Fur.
Give me the orange and black. Give me the Tigers. Give me Wellsville.
And then the 7 p.m. game tomorrow, Ashtabula, St. John at Garfield Heights, Trinity. Samuel.
All right, I'm going to try and keep this as quick as I possibly can.
Oh, God.
3-9 last year, the St. John Heralds go. They bring back most of the team from last year, but they're also going to include about 5 huge transfer players, including no one bigger than Grayson Petros, standing at 6'3", about 275 pounds. He's going to be on the offensive line with Ethan Hastings, who's about 6'2" and 265 pounds. They've got a line this year. Ryan Williams is our version of Peyton Hillis. Will Anderson, 999 yards last year. Vin Narducci with 1,800 yards passing last year. Give me the Heralds.
Heralds. Hughes.
Heralds.
Gary.
I trust Sam when I'm thinking up north. Heralds.
Sigler.
St. John.
Fur.
St. John.
All right. You know, we got to do this quick, too. It is that time of the broadcast where we give a little bit of a spark, positive or negative, and it's all brought to you thanks to Joe Dickey Electric. While we have a captivated audience, I want to say thank you to Joe for everything he did, not just for us here at YSN, but for communities all around. Joe passed away over the summer. We miss him. We love you. Thank you so much for everything you do. Your legacy will live on through others because that's the way you treated others, and they will treat others the way that you treated them. So thank you, Joe Dickey Electric, for everything you've done, and we salute you, my friend. Joe Dickey Electric, What's Your Spark? Presented by Joe Dickey Electric. Visit them today, DickeyElectric.com. Joe Dickey Electric. We are electrical. All right, full screen time. Space is ready, boys. First, we go.
My spark is going to be quick. I've gotten to annoy DJ for right around 9 months with my non-stop football talk. He can't tell me I'm annoying anymore because it's football season, baby. My spark is that tonight's the night to get things started. YSN, #1 football coverage in the world. Let's go.
Yeah, I also can't really wait to get back into football season also. It's been way too long. I know we didn't mention during the show, but other YSN school, Mohawk, which is across the board in PA, they have a great against the Shank tonight, which is also going to be a fun one. It's kind of like the Stros versus Paul in the Western PA. Mohawk has a really good team, and they have some guys coming back. I can't wait to see how far they go this year, trying to get back to the playoffs. I'll be covering them also along with Bobo.
Awesome.
It's been since damn February since we've had a football game, and we got it back tonight, baby. Starting with high school football. Let's go. Football's back.
Just want to send a shout out to all the athletic directors for all their cooperation this year. It's the busiest time of year, and for them to send me rosters and cooperate with what we need to make it a successful season, I'm very thankful for them. So thank you.
My first shout out is to DJ and Brian at YSN. Thank you guys for bringing me on. I'm heading into year 7 now. I love it every year. I look forward to this time of the year. It's my favorite time of year. But my second shout out goes to the Wellsville Junior Tigers football team. The Bantam team shut out United Local 12-0, and the varsity team in a triple overtime 6-0 win over United. My shout out goes to you guys, the Wellsville Junior Tigers.
My spark goes to everybody who is watching YSN, who watches this show, that watches it religiously, even Monday through Thursday, waiting for this show on Friday. We all get excited about this show. I know South Range. I just got a picture. They're watching this show as a team in their kind of pregame meal. Thank you for that. Thank you to all the teams that support us. Thank you to all the parents that support us. We know there's a lot of places you can go to watch these games. We know there's a lot of places that you want to come and do more, and we want to be there. There are 32 games of football on this network. There are 32 chances for you to support somebody on this network by just giving them a click. That's how it works. But there's only one place to watch them, and that's ysnlive.com. We are so blessed. I'm so honored to have these guys that want to be part of this team, and all 60 of you that put your hand in the pile every single week for every single sport. This is why I love what I do every day. I do it for all of you guys. I do it for everybody out there. And I know this team does the same. So congratulations to the teams on making it to week 1. A little round of applause for them. We're excited. I know, Sam, this is your time of year. So my friend, thank you so much for being patient in those 9 months, for getting right back to pigskin season. We're excited. And for all of you that don't know how to get there, ysnlive.com/live. You click the links. You can click as many times as you want. You can float through, or don't forget, if you want to throw away that remote, if you don't want to do any clicking, you can go to the Audible call. Mike Ackelson, back for his 5th season here with us on YSN. It's all started during COVID, and certainly we just crank it up each and what the hell am I saying? We crank it up more every single season, and we're excited to do it again this year with Act's 5th season here. That'll kick off about 7 o'clock with these other games. Guys, thank you again for tuning in. I couldn't ask for a better group of brothers. What the hell is that noise, Sigler?
Some guy wanting everybody to know that he has a Harley.
That's going to do it for our show. Hats off to the Harley guy. We'll see you guys next time right here on the YSN Power Hour. YSN thanks you for watching